So, if everything goes well, I'm live here on this webinar on YouTube about how to live our full potential, or inviting us to revisiting our position in this world, especially in these times. I have chosen this time and this topic because so far we have been a year and a half in a situation that is for sure different than anything that we have been expecting or signed up for. And usually, okay. So I give you a little bit more of time to allow you to arrive because with the technical element in it, we often need a little bit of time to settle down to see if the audio works, if you can see me, if you can hear me. So maybe if you want to give a thumb up in the chat, you see on the right side there is a chat where you can write your thoughts in it or also your questions. I'm not very good in talking and at the same time answering questions. So if you have something that you would like to ask, you can put it in there. But it will be at the end that I will answer then the questions. So after 20 minutes, more or less. And it is also at the end that I will put in the direct link to the academy, where there is also then the discount for the online course with the feminine archetypes. This will all be found in the chat. So for those who have already arrived, make sure that you are comfortable. You don't need anything to practice. I will really do here a little generating of thoughts, reflections to invite you into this journey and hopefully give you something that you can walk away with to navigate in a better way through these times and really being aware what is possible and what other aspects there are waiting for us in order to be explored, played with, and also to see how our reaction to evolution that we are clearly in can then change when we change our behavior patterns. So living our full potential, this is something that is really dear to my heart, as I feel myself often that those who limit us most, it's not life, it's not the others, it's really ourselves. We are really often in our own way, not because we do it on purpose, not because we are not intelligent enough, but we are just doing what we always have been doing. We are behaving and reacting in a way that has been working for us, that has us brought here, that has us helped to survive. And of course, it takes quite a while until we may realize that maybe this is not the way anymore that is actually requested and valid for this moment. Usually when we look back, whether it is in school or when we are learning something about history, when we see something in the news, when we hear the stories from our parents, grandparents, then we can already see how an important transit of evolution or other parts of evolution, how they have been ending, when they started, what there was in between, how people acted, what happened, and then what the outcome was. So right here now, we are long enough in the situation of the world that we may understand that this is not just going away. We are not just going back to the old, and we cannot just ignore it or attack it. But we may want to be a very important part of these times, of this evolution, by revisiting our way to react, our way to be. and take the opportunity and invitation to maybe experiment other different views, to maybe create a new me and participate in creating a new story, like Charles Eisenstein likes so much to name it. Creating a new story, creating a new me, no matter where I may stand politically, personally, socially, or with my opinions about anything in this moment. But realizing that the world I live in is not the same world we have all lived in 2 years ago. And for this, I really love to bring in these archetypes that may sometimes be like something that is just psychological or maybe something that I do not need. But for sure, in these times, we may find some qualities that are represented by these wonderful, colorful goddesses and archetypes that may support us, that may encourage us to explore something new. And it's really not so much about giving up myself how I am today. It's more to expand who I can be and then to pull out of my basket the different qualities and skills that work best for a certain situation or for a certain circumstances. So this is why I would like to guide you now in a few of the archetypes, just to give you a little bit of overview what different aspects are there that we may not know, that we may maybe reject, that we may not even have thought about, or that we may have connected to something that's rather negative from our past. But like really having a new, a fresh look at these skills and then choose again. Do I want to bring them in? Do I leave them for later? Or do I not want them? Do I not want to look at them at all? So it may be that up to this day, we have been living in a quite focused, straightforward, goal-oriented way. And these qualities that come also with an intellect, with an intelligence, with the capacity to focus, to bring structure into a day, into our life, into our thinking, these skills are related to the goddess of Athena. And she is amazing. I call upon her a lot. And we may want to have her more into our life in case we want to reorganize something, in case we want to embark on a new journey and we need a discipline in our life. It's also possible that some of us have been living too much into these qualities of Athena, too focused, too structured, too quick in our decisions, too narrow minded in our aim to reach the goal. And this can lead to a detachment, disconnection from our intuition, from our feminine sides. And it can make us pretty hard and harsh. So this is something we want to have a look at when we look at these qualities. Do we have them too much in our personality? And maybe it's a moment now to soften them. Or are they lacking? Are they deficient in the way we go for life and we want to bring them up? There is another goddesses that is exactly the opposite. It's Persephone. And Persephone is this innocent girl, the maiden that plays innocently in the fields and picks flowers and is very well protected, innocent and open. She's very naive, so she can easily be manipulated, but she's also incredibly open. She really says much more why not than a clear no. So Persephone, as the maiden and the goddess of the underworld at the same time, from all the archetypes, Persephone has the biggest potential to go through changes with ease and also to grow within these changes. Persephone has been abducted to the underworld and has then come up again to the world, to her father and especially mother, and could continue her life as an innocent girl. But just by having felt the despair, having felt the feeling of being lost that some of us may touch now in these many months that we are in this situation, by really touching the full intensity of feeling lost, feeling disconnected from the world that we once knew, that used to work for us. Through this, we will have an incredible potential to, in future problematics and challenges, and in this here now, to make the link between the dark, the underworld, and coming up again to the light, renewed. And really with this question, so what is next? And why not? So Persephone in my life right now is really very, very present because I have had her neglected a lot in my life. I was much more concentrated in focus, striving forward, knowing what I wanted, planning, all things that are not working anymore right now. Then we have wonderful other goddesses here and archetypes that you also may befriend or that may help you now in these times, like the qualities of Demeter. Demeter is the mother or the goddess of the grain. She is the mother. She is the nurturer. She is the generous archetype. She is able to be patient and to give. And indeed, she identifies by helping others and therefore also becoming or getting an identification through being necessary and needed by others. So this can be a big gift when we can use this with others, when we feel we are relatively strong in these times, for what reason ever. If we are in a very good situation, socially or also economically, psychologically, and we see others struggle and fall, we may want to step in now and we may want to share our qualities with others, offer our gifts with them. And in case that we have been too much in the Demeter qualities and we may have made others too dependent on us and have created uncertainties in them because we always knew best, then we may want to take a step back now and encourage those around us to find their own ways, to have their own opinions, and to allow them to make their own experiences. So being a Demeter, but more from the background, and encourage others to really go their way, especially those that we feel responsible for, like our children or other people who depend on us, also as therapists, yoga teachers, taking a step back if we are too much in Demeter. Then there are the qualities from Hestia. Hestia is the goddess of the temple, of the hearth. And she has been for sure cultivated or had to be cultivated in the first month of this pandemic, where we were prevented to go out, where we had to be with ourselves, where we were not allowed to go out and meet others. So for some of us, this was a real gift. And for others, it was really challenging. So now that we see, and for sure in these times, our circle of friends, our social engagement for sure has been reshuffled, has been renewed. Maybe some people are not anymore next to our side. Others we had to move away from. And there are new people that maybe have found our center. So Hestia may be much more present for us. We may be much more at peace with being alone, with being absorbed in what we are doing while being alone, while being not distracted. And many from us, and I have been talking about this and heard this quite a lot when we did the teacher support and the Q&As with the hormones and feminine archetypes, that pretty many of us were challenged after being home then to go out again. And this is a shadow aspect or a challenge for Hestia when she's very at ease in being alone, then to really go out again, how to connect again. Each one of us is dealing differently with the fear, what's going on now, how to connect, but making sure that we have enough human connections. This is really very important point from Hestia. And there are other archetypes. There are other qualities and skills that we may want to have a look at, and that we may have neglected so far because we said, why would I have to change? This is me. Why would I have to adapt or make the effort and look into other skills? I'm good as I am and I want to accept myself. And this is absolutely valid. This is here only when we feel, for the moment, when we feel that something that has been working for us so far, the way we think, the way we interact, the way we react, the way we go forward, that this is not working anymore for us. Then, instead of trying it again and again the same way and hitting our head, that we open up and say, why not? Let's look what's there. And maybe there is an Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, of the wilderness, of the moon, who is there with some of her precious qualities that stay actually for any activism. She's really the activist in herself, because Artemis is not afraid to stand up and speak her truth. She has incredible, brave sense and nature, a wilderness within her that doesn't even think before she stands up and speaks out and defends those who, in her opinion, need her protection. And I think this can be for many of us the moment to cultivate Artemis, to step up and to do something that is maybe scary, but really to take a leap and go more into the light or into public, and if it's just in our social environment, and stand for what we believe in and encourage others also with this fearlessness to really also trust themselves and defend the truth that they stand for. And this is something that may be very scary, especially when the whole world seems to go in one direction, or our whole friends or family, and we as the only ones, as it looks like, are standing up. But once we stand up, once we speak our truth, we are seen by others who would love to do it and who do not dare. They see us, they can come to us, they can follow us, or they can do the same because they have seen it is possible. So maybe there is something in Artemis that you want to cultivate or explore and experiment with. And then there is our beloved Hera. Hera is the goddess of marriage, the spouse. And she's the less attractive often, the less favorite of all the goddesses and archetypes, because she often has been diminished just to be the spouse, the wife, who can be very jealous and also possessive. But Hera comes with incredible qualities that I need more and more, especially in these last years when I was building up so many other projects that I would never have dared to do without her. She's incredibly loyal, and she's able to commit and stay with this commitment to a person, to a project, to an organization. and she knows how to keep herself healthy, how to manage her energies, and how to really to be a valid member of this community, of her family, of her friends, of her organization, of her partner, to have something done and to move forward and not give up. So Hera is incredible, helpful, especially in these times, or especially when we decide to start something new or to begin a new way and path or to join a new group or new work, then we can really only call upon her and investigate her. Remember, this is just a little overview about some skills and qualities that may talk to you. I have the whole full online course that's really done in an amazing way, professional way with an amazing team where for each one of the goddesses, you will get an explanation, her shadow parts, her light, her qualities. You will get an extra practice around 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You will get a moment of reflection. And I really put a lot of love in this course, in this subject material that I keep sharing with the world, not only with you now, also in the courses, also in the book, of course, Yin for Life, but because I have seen and experienced how much good they can bring, how much liberation, how much playfulness and joy, and how much peace they can give us. So I will right now put you the direct link to my academy with this course in the chat. And there is a code that is change, means change. And if you give this code into the Archetype online course, then you will get 20% discount until Thursday midnight. So 48 hours that you will get the 20% for this course, where you can explore these archetypes with the qualities deeper. You can stay with one as long as you want. You can skip others. You can really do it in a way that suits you. So I would like to have you a moment. If you have any questions, you can always type them in the chat, and I see if I can answer them right now in regards of the qualities of different qualities, in regards of goddesses, in regards of how to cultivate a new story, a new me, without losing and giving up who I am right now and who I have become right now. And while I give you this time, because often I get then the emails later because the ideas and the questions come often later, I would just like to finish here with a poem from my dear friend Anouk Maketi. It's also in the book Yin for Life. That's now also out there, not only in English, but also in German and in Spanish. It's coming soon. So I would like to just end with this poem, The Vulnerable, about vulnerability, because creating somebody new and exploring aspects of our life that we don't know, that are unknown, needs courage and makes us vulnerable. Vulnerable by Anouk Maketi. And so I stand here before you, vulnerable. I lay down my mask, my busyness, my perfect life. I lay down the judgments that have kept me safe these many years, my tribal belonging. I dismantle those artfully erected edifices behind which I hid in the name of me. It is cold out here, naked in the rain. I want to flinch and turn away, but I stay. I show you the color of my soul, the texture of my beating heart. Please be gentle. It is not an easy place to be, but sometimes those times worth having, it is the only place worth being. To look at ourselves in the looking glass under a light clear as water, to hold our fear, our love, our hopes, our joys, and our mistakes with the whole of us. And this is the test, to show ourselves so to others, to lay everything on the line with courage and with faith and with compassion. For there will be those who turn away. But for those of us who chose to stay, this is where we grow truly. This is where we come to a new freedom, and this is important. Our souls are upwards, free of the chrysalises and to take flight, gift of gifts. We come to know ourselves and each other vulnerable and unbounded beyond belief. So thank you, Anouk Maketi, for this beautiful poem that you can find in my book, In for Life, and that hopefully encourages you to live your full potential in whatever situation you are in whatever move you are, in whatever evolution, transformation. Just having the courage to show yourself in this moment with the fear, with the despair, with the hopes, with the light beyond horizon, and to really investigate in something new and create a new you, a new story that is based on the old story, on your old and familiar you. Thank you so much for joining me or watching that video whenever you have time. And as I said, explore the online course about the feminine archetype. It has a lot of valid content in it, and I hope it will guide you into these fields that are waiting for you to be discovered. Thank you so much. Namaste.